Also, before this video starts, I just want to say shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Before this video even starts, please follow me on all my social media, link down below. Basically, today I'm going to be talking about some of the grossest parts that we've experienced when buying this abandoned house. So essentially, when you buy an abandoned house or a house that's sat vacant for years, you can probably assume there's going to be more damage, hidden things that you didn't really know about, and probably also gross problems with mice, rats, animals, the outside world being able to enter your house. So basically, in the very beginning of buying this, we experienced so much odd things, very gross things we kind of predicted, but it's way different once you're actually dealing with these issues. So let's just jump into it. So first and foremost, it may not look like it now, but if you guys know, we bought this abandoned house and then we renovated it back, and we're still renovating it today, and we're updating it and turning it into our own special house. So in this once abandoned log cabin, it may not look like it right now, but I can upload old pictures of this place, and this kitchen did not look anything like this. And the only reason I'm bringing this part up is because the previous owner had exotic animals. I mean, they had normal animals like pigs, cow, goats, sheep, but they also had like 6.5 foot tall ostrich, birds, and peacocks, stuff like that. If you guys follow the series, you remember all those cages that were outside. And basically, at one point, all the animals were living inside this house. So they had all the animals inside because the SPCA came and threatened to take away all the animals because they were kind of being neglected, and they didn't want to give up their animals, so they brought them all inside here in an attempt to hide them. So you can imagine at some point there was a 6-foot bird, pig, sheep, everything walking around here in the bedrooms and this whole entire living space. And I'll tell you what, when we moved in, you knew that something was inside. The wood, the hardwood, was so stained from, animals going to the bathroom right on the floor that it was literally black. Like, it was so stained, it was horrible. The smell, I can't even begin to tell you guys how bad it was. I still mention the basement all the time, and I still mention, like, I wish you guys could have been here to smell it. It was horrid. It was something that I never thought we were gonna be able to get past. There was even thoughts in the beginning, are we gonna be able to get the smell out of the house? Thankfully, it's gone now, but the amount of products that we used was crazy to get this out. But at one point, there was, like I said, sheep, goat, all this stuff traveling right here and living on this main floor. That's something I don't think any other abandoned house probably has. I just want to say shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace gives you a powerful yet beautiful online platform to build your own website. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content. Manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights, all on one easy-to-use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule posts too. Extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales tax, and ship items across the globe. Display posts from your social media profiles on your website. Automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. Whatever you sell, Squarespace has merchandising features to make your product look like the best online. Also, all Squarespace websites are optimized for mobile. The content automatically adjusts so your site looks good on any device. So go to squarespace.com for your free trial and use code Kyle McGran. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Kyle McGran for 10% off of your first purchase or domain. Also, I'll roll the clips of it, but when we first moved in, the kitchen was from here to like here. It was smaller and there was a wall there. There was so much rat poop and mice poop. It was everywhere. I mean, it was inside all the cabinets. It was behind the cabinets. It was in the sink. They were in the ceiling. It was everywhere. Literally everywhere. The smell was terrible. There was dead ones, there was live ones. We went through a nightmare to try to get out all these rodents. As this video is being filmed, these steps are currently being stained, so I can't walk on them. But if you guys have ever seen my videos of me going in this closet and Ryan's old room, the amount of feces that was left behind there, you wouldn't believe. I mean, there had to have been thousands, maybe multiples of maybe tens of thousands of rodents in this house, because one or a couple couldn't just do it. I mean, there was piles and piles everywhere. It was on these beams, so they would walk across the beams and like go above the shelves and stuff like that. It's on these too. It's still up here. That's what we had this cleaner for over here. We had to get up there and suck it all out. And at the very end of this, you know, renovation series, we're gonna have a deep cleansing go on of all of this place, just even more. Also, I can't even begin to tell you, it is better, but opening up this basement door and going down still does not smell the best. I mean, it's way better than what it was, but I can't even tell you how bad this basement was. It still smells bad. If you guys were here, you wouldn't come down here and go, You know, it's definitely not an attractive smell, but something you can see here in the basement, this is where rats would chew through. So they used to chew through right there and go inside. They would come down here. You can still see, we still have to get it cleaned up, but that's all droppings right there. I mean, there's so much of it. This is all old, but you can see they'd go through this hole right here. They chewed through everything. We still have to get this all cleaned up. If you guys follow the series, you know we haven't even touched this basement. Also, when we moved in this room, there had to have been a foot-long rat. Not even a mouse, not a field mouse, like an actual rat living in there. I'm guessing because the previous owners had so many animals and they were living in the house that, you know, they could come in too. And I'm sure they attracted it, feeding them in the house openly, just on the floor. I'm sure, you know, you have these types of issues. We've had so many exterminators come out. We've caught probably 10 mice in this basement alone in these boxes and stuff since we moved in. Now, we haven't had problems in a while, but still doesn't mean that there's not a way in for them now. Let me turn the camera right here. You guys can see, we painted this drop ceiling black. These used to be white, so you can see like even spray paint marks up here. Taking out these ceiling tiles, it was raining. You can see all the droppings. Look at how disgusting is that? We have to come down here and clean this. I mean, it's horrible. It was like raining droppings on you. Like you had to wear like hazmat suits to take this ceiling out. It was so gross. You can still see, guys, like, I'm actually noticing how gross it is. I thought we cleaned up most of it, but clearly it's still going on. It's like disgusting. There was actually a little mouse caught in here too, like a little baby one. But look, if I come in this closet right here, you can probably still see like droppings and see like the nesting. That's all like nesting and chewed up bird seeds and stuff like that. Like they probably used all paper shreds that they tore apart to kind of build like a nest. So I used to walk in this door right here and there used to be probably a couple thousand of those, I think they're called spider crickets or something, all over the wall. But either way, it was like a cricket or an insect all over the wall. We had to come down and fog this whole room, and that ends up like taking them out. And then they would crawl underneath the door, and then they were everywhere all over this floor. It was really gross. But I guess when you leave a house vacant and abandoned and people come and vandalize it and you know, break windows and stuff, it only just leaves a path for nature to essentially come in and take over the house, which they definitely did. And coming into that back room, right underneath this thing is where we found that massive rat that was lying dead. It stunk up the whole room and it was an absolutely horrid smell, but we got that taken care of. We haven't seen anything in a while, and I would say things are going pretty good. This room just looks gross though. Obviously, we've been living in the house and kind of staying over. We're not fully moved in yet, but something that we had to take care of first of all was to get you know, rid of all that stuff so we can confidently live inside of the house. But some things we haven't gotten around to, like this office building on the property, I can kind of go ahead and show you what used to happen at this with these rats and rodents. You can see they even chewed in right there. But when you go inside here, we actually cleared it out a pretty good bit. But you guys can see, look, this is all rats like nest material or like some sort of rodent. And you can see they ripped up all these grocery bags and stuff like that, and they built a nest behind it. You can see all the droppings back there, and you can see them like floating in the spider web. They chew through the wall right there, go in, you can see this disgusting wall, and That's what they do. They burrow in that, they live in there, and we haven't seen anything in here, but this definitely isn't sealed up yet correctly, so I can imagine that there will probably still be something. You can see they chew through the walls, you know, they just go through everything. This place was so filled with them, it was beyond disgusting. Thankfully though, after the house sitting abandoned for so long, they either left or they died. So the ones we found were mostly dead. There were still a couple ones coming in because when we bought the house it was the winter, so I guess they were trying to stay warm. But as far as food, they ran out. Nothing was coming in and nothing was going out. So essentially if they just lived here, it'd be one thing. But the ones that were burrowed inside the house and everything, eating, they eventually died because I guess they starved. But how gross is this? See how they just tear right through that? I wouldn't be surprised if this building has like electrical issues or something from them chewing them wires. Like look, there's live wires right there. I mean, it was everywhere, you know, like look at all the droppings around the door. It's really gross. But this is what the inside of the cabin looked like as well. You know, it's not even just like because this is an outdoor building. This is what our house used to look like. Oh my God, I do not miss those days. So I'm skipping over a bunch of like little things like insects and stuff, like problems like that we had. You know, if there was rats living in the house, I'm sure you guys can assume there was every sort of spider or, you know, something like that living inside the house, just gross insects, which is to be expected. But something that was unexpected that was living in this house right here was we had snakes in the house, in the basement. I mean, when we moved in, we set an exterminator out there to put in some mice traps and like rat traps. Essentially just rodent traps, like glue, sticky things, whatever. I don't even know what they use, but something like that. And as he was out here, he was taking pictures of snakes that were in the basement. I can upload a picture of one. I think I still have it. It's from like episode probably 1 or 2. But we had snakes living in this house. So we had other forms of reptiles literally inside this house. Thinking back, it doesn't really bother me too much, but it was just something I didn't even think about, like rats. Oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be rodents, spiders, the crickets or whatever was one thing. There was a ton of them, and then we got that. And he's like, you have families of snakes living in this house, like different breed, like different kinds of them. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot be sleeping and have a snake slither on me or something. I'll literally lose it. But yeah. We had snakes living in this house as well. Also, this one's kind of a bit different than the other ones I was talking about, but when you buy an abandoned house, like I said, it was vandalized, it was ruined. You guys can still see the deck. I mean, it was pretty demolished. We still had people coming to the house that we could see on security cameras and stuff that didn't know it was like purchased. So it's not gross, but this is almost like a safety thing where people would still come to the house, try to get in or like think it's still abandoned. So then we were dealing with in the beginning, and I never even talked about this, people coming and maybe, you know, trying to break in a door or something. So it was more like we had to put out signs saying like brand new, like no trespassing sign, private property, because people would still come here. I guess people knew about it and they were like, there's this house hidden in the woods, and they would come in and trash. When we moved in, there was all like beer, like cans and stuff like that, just trashed. Besides the vandalism, like I said, there was just trash inside. Looks like people might have hung out. We even found like drug stuff on the property, stuff for smoking. We found like a ton of stuff in the house and on the property as well. But I guess that wouldn't be gross, but it was just like almost like a safety issue. Because people didn't know it was bought until like we started making some real progress on it, and then I guess they assumed like, hey, maybe we should stop going there. But that's just like an issue with buying an abandoned house I'm pretty much talking about. And it was kind of like, it's scary at first because you may be working there or doing something, or someone doesn't know you're there and they think it's still abandoned. They come and just like kick the door in or something. Like that would be terrifying. So like I said, it was filled with like old beer cans that were like halfway filled, rotting food, just this entire mess throughout the house, in the yard, and pretty much just surrounding the property. Also, this is a quick little thing as well. I was just explaining how people would like came and trashed the house or whatever, but right here, it's pretty normal, it's outdoors, so we didn't care, but they had huge like skunks. I don't know if you call it a nest or a home, but whatever it was. There was so many of them right here. When we first started walking out here to see the pond when we got it, we would just see a bunch of them run across, and we would take off sprinting all the way back to the house because we did not want to get sprayed by these things. Also, now on the right side of the house, another issue we experienced when we first went in is we never even noticed it in the winter because we were like, oh, like everything's good. Once we cleared out like all the rodents, reptiles, like whatever we had in this house. Well, summertime has since came around, and now obviously, sadly, we're at towards the end of it. We didn't notice, but there was all hornets and stuff like that living in the house. Bees, yellow jackets, and even hornets living inside the house from broken windows and stuff like that. We would walk in, there'd be hornets flying around in the house. Now, I'm not saying it's gross or whatever, but it was definitely an issue. And people were getting stung. I mean, it was a nightmare. I even probably filmed it on like episode like 13 maybe, when we started getting into like the warmer months here in Pennsylvania. But we had hornets flying around. People were getting stung. They were everywhere. You'd be sitting down casually and you had to like duck because, or like try to swat it, like get it out. So we had someone come out, beekeeper, properly remove them and, you know, deal with them professionally. That was so annoying. And it was, I would say it's pretty gross. Those windows right there were broken on the house, and they would come in through there, I guess, because there was 2 hornets nests right next to it. And then they also went to the peak of the house, as you can see here around the fireplaces, on both of them, and built nests all over there. And then they reproduced, and there was thousands of them, so we had to properly deal with that. And that was just another little issue that was just, we didn't see coming, but it was super annoying to deal with. Also, if you're wondering, that noise, that's my mom casually weed whacking as I'm filming. Thanks, Mom. Alright everyone, I think that's going to wrap this video up. If you guys did enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Also follow me on all my social media, link down below. You guys know I've been trying to upload more recently while still maintaining the weekly renovation video. If you guys are new to this channel, obviously go ahead and subscribe. We upload all abandoned videos. We upload the whole series with this channel and some fillers and more in-depth videos about this house as well. I don't want to bore you guys with sitting here with a long outro, so I'll see you in the next video. I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.